We got to get into this, people. We don't even have time. Brianna Chickenfry and Zach Bryan.
Ooh.
Okay, so who aren't they is kind of the question that we have to answer first. Who is not Zach Bryan?
Yeah, we've found basically talking about this story all day long that a lot of people are confused when it comes to country music.
Yes.
And I understand why.
Yes.
Because I just want to say Zach Bryan is not Luke Bryan.
It's not Luke Bryan.
And Luke Bryan, of course, is not Luke Combs.
It's not.
Zach Bryan is also not Zach Brown.
Nope.
And Zach Brown is not Kane Brown. Zach Brown is the one who sings Chicken Fried. Zach Bryan is the one who dated Chicken Fry.
So now that we have that all cleared up,
Now we're good.
I'm
going to need a Venn diagram next time.
We'll find one. I don't think, it's Zach Bryan is having a really good year in music. One of the probably best years or best artists this last year. He got to tour. His songs were killing it in the game. He started dating a little over a year ago a woman named Brianna Chickenfry. Now, Brianna Chickenfry has a kind of a celebrity in her own right online. She is part of Barstool Sports, which has a bunch of podcasts. One of hers is called Plan Bree. And then the other one she's in is BFF podcast, which is with the CEO of Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy. So they met. The timelines are a little blurry, but she did clear that she has made it the whole time that she did break up with her boyfriend, and then they met, and they were fast and furious relationship. We didn't know too much about Zach Bryan, except that he did at one point have a wife who was deployed and sent her divorce papers while she was deployed.
What? Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of I don't think things like dating or married to Zach Bryan is super fun. Well, we found that out officially last night. BFF podcast, this is with Dave Portnoy and Brianna Chickenfry, the official ex-girlfriend of Zach Bryan, made it very clear that it's not great to date Zach Bryan. And so much so, we found out that he offered her $12 million to sign an NDA. I didn't even know this guy was worth that.
Me neither.
And I mean, I know he's having a great year and everything, but you're like, you haven't been around that long.
No.
And so it begs the question is, what is $12 million trying to hide? What is the thing that she has that is worth $12 million to his team?
$12 million plus an apartment in New York.
No, it was like either or kind of thing. Yeah. So
sorry, I can have one or the other, or I can actually tell everyone how much of a jerk you are.
Yeah, so like it even started, they like threw out like a couple million. She's like, no. And then they got to 10, and then they quickly got to, like they were like in the middle of that. They're like, we'll buy you a house. No, we'll buy you an apartment. And then fine 10 million, fine 12 million. Well, they didn't move fast enough because she got a time to think on it. And she says this all in the podcast that if she would have been pressured right then and there, I think we all would have be remiss to say we wouldn't take $12 million.
Oh, yeah.
But the more time she had, the more time she decided that it's just not where she wants to be. She had this great quote along the lines of like, I will be fine with $12 million and I'll be fine without $12 million because like I have me for my future and I'll be just fine. And she sat on that long enough and she goes, I know that the women in his past couldn't talk and they weren't in the position I'm in and I'm not taking that money and I'm going to tell. She didn't want to tell everything, and she did not last night. This morning is when I think it dropped at like midnight.
She's going to make some money off of talking about it, too. Like, let's be clear. Good on you. Do it. I'm not hating on it, but she's going to.
I mean, I don't think she'll make $12 million.
No.
But
she'll do really well. So will Barstool Sports because of this.
Yeah. And she made it really clear, like on this episode, she gave us like a little insight into their world, and it was very dark. She said that there's a lot I'm not saying. One, it's hard for me. And two, I don't want to relive it and I don't want it out there. And that'll probably maybe change. I have a feeling she gave us like 10% of how bad it got. I think the main thing we walked away with is this man has a real problem with alcohol and screams things at her. He also kind of leaned into making sure she, like at one point when she was negotiating her new contract with Barstool, they offered her, let's say, $1 million a year. He said, I'll give you $2 million a year if you just quit. He didn't want her working. He wanted her touring with her, which he did. She went and toured with him for the past year. lived in a touring bus with him. She took a lot of flack online because he would get drunk and tweet or not show up for things. I think the biggest one we talked about, Mike, was the Noah Khan appearance.
Yeah, Noah Khan was playing, I believe, Wrigley Field, and he was supposed to be performing before him. Zach Bryan was like his special guest, and he canceled on the day of. And Chickenfry Brianna went on to say that's because he was too drunk to perform.
Yeah.
And then it was this weird thing where people started asking him about it, and he was just straight up like gaslighting Noah Khan, being like, no, we never agreed to that. It never happened. He went onto social media with a picture of him like FaceTiming saying, no, just stop telling people that I agreed to this because I didn't. And she defended him because, again, she said, when you're my person, when I'm in love with you, I'm going to be loyal. And I knew 100% he was supposed to be at this show. He didn't show because of drinking.
Also, on top of it, she went to the Golden Globes without him. She even retweeted or threw on her Instagram story the picture of the dress. Is like, my girl is so beautiful. And then privately was just rage texting her, I can't believe you dress like that. I can't believe you would show skin like that. Unfollowed everybody publicly. And then she had the next day when she had to go, because her job is talking about celebrity dramas, had to show up on all these shows with Dave Portnoy going, what happened? Why did he unfollow? Zach Bryan, everybody notices it when everyone unfollows every account. She'd say, oh, just this or that. Or, I think he just needed a break. Or that she constantly defended to the point where people were not liking her, where they were fans originally. Were like, who is this girl? Like, who is this person? And she even said in this interview that she's like, this last year, I don't know who I became.
What I think rings true for anyone, whether you like her, you like him, you like, whatever your personal opinions are aside, is that I think any woman listening to this has been in a position where you go, wait a minute, why are you trying to ruin everything good in my life?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I have in several relationships. You've been like, I was so excited that I got this job. I was so excited that I got accepted into this group. I was so excited that this person gave me an A on my report card, whatever it might be. I was so excited about this pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And your man, because he's got this controlling, possessive itch to him, won't let you just be joyful. Instead, they degrade you so much, every little tiny hit, that you become this shell of a human being until you either crumble or you get out.
Yeah, it definitely became really apparent with that, too, because she toured when it was his little, buddy on tour with him, making sure everything was nice. Then she had her own tour. She had her own, podcast tour she had to do on the West Coast. And he broke up with her then via text. And then again, broke up with, and they got back together, and they broke up with her again when she came back. And she woke up to that. Remember last week when he did that Instagram note?
I'm done.
She woke up to that. She didn't know, she knew they were broken up that night, went to bed, woke up to her whole family and friends found out that way. And I think there's just a lot of emotional abuse she talks about him filming her because he claims that her family is secret friends and families are filming her. So she'd wake up to him filming her being like, how do you like it? How do you like it?
Like an actual psycho.
No, I think this guy is very rageful. You can tell the way he just tweets in all these things. And I think there's $12 million worth of secrets, and I don't know if we'll ever find them all out, but I bet you he wishes she took that money at this point.
Mike felt very strongly about Ms. Peaches.
Oh, yes. And there's another story where he apparently kicked Miss Peaches out of a dressing room.
Nobody does
and
that.
Miss Peaches is a national treasure. You don't touch Miss Peaches.
She is a pity to be loved.
Yes.
And now he's canceled his tour.
He's canceled his tour. He's not going to tour anymore. There's a lot to this story.
Ugh.